audience. All right, so now we are streaming live on Facebook. We are broadcasting from the Leeds Day. So go ahead and take out your phones, go to YouTube, go to Facebook, search for Clear Life Media. And we're going to get going here. So we are actually broadcasting from the Doyle Center today. So for those of you who are tuning in on our Facebook page, and our audio is super hot. So sometimes we have to make adjustments as we're going on. I can see that I'm blowing out everything.
It's because he didn't have a lav on, and now he does.
Now I do. Now I have a lav on. So if everyone can find it, go to Clear Life Media.
Clear Life Media. Hey, it's working.
Sweet.
Do y'all all have Facebook? Yes, no, no, yeah. YouTube, anybody? YouTube? Facebook? Yeah. Pull it. Sweet, okay.
Yep, so I have it set. So one of the cool things about live streaming is you can actually set multiple destinations. You can also set multiple inputs. So right now our graphic is showing, and with the click of a button, you guys are now up on the camera. So you guys, in a few seconds, will see yourselves. So go ahead and say hi. So these are the lovely students at Leeds Day.
We need to get them on the back.
All right, so we are live streaming. Okay, so before we get going too far, we were asked to kind of introduce ourselves, introduce our company, introduce kind of what our goals are for today, and it's about leadership. So my name is Kurt Casper.
I'm Gardy Garcia.
And we run Clear Life Media, and Clear Life Media is a video production company in Lamarck, Texas. We serve all of Galveston County and then also shoot some videos and stuff around Houston. We've gone all the way up to Dallas to do some stuff before. So we travel all over Texas, and we're actually going to Midland in December. So that's the furthest that we have traveled to shoot video. We do commercials, we do live streaming, we do weddings, we do sports broadcasting. We try to service all of Galveston County. And Gardy, how did you get involved in this field?
So we started by working for a local radio station, and we were producing videos for ourselves, and then we got asked if we could produce videos for other people, and so we started, and then that led to us starting a different company, Clear Life, just to make it easy. And whenever it was fun coming up with a name, because people have asked us, or at least me, hey, what does Clear Life Media mean? And I was like, oh, we made it up. I don't know. But one thing that they tell us is it's important, you got to have a meaning behind the name. So, but if it does have anything, it just means making things easy. In marketing and business, there's always problems. Solving the problem, and we want to make that easy for people. So it's a Clear Life. So that's how we started that. So radio station, on to videos. I took a weird path through school. I'm a musician, and so after high school, I wanted to play in a rock and roll band. I did. I traveled all over, but in the meantime, I kind of was doing school and stuff when I could. So it took me about 10 years, but I did online school while I was doing everything else, and I got a business degree. And then after I started working in the industry, I got a master's degree in technical communication, and so I focused all of that on kind of the field and stuff. So that's how I got into that. Met this guy. My life's been pretty bad since I have. But it's been interesting nonetheless. The cool thing with Clear Life is anything that we're interested in, we can do it. And being flexible in a business, especially whenever it's something like this small, if you have any resistance, you just change your path. Okay, because there's always the obstacles, there's always the problems. And so that's one thing that we're still working on, but has led us to this point.
Yeah. So I got my start kind of similar. You mentioned you wanted to be a sports reporter or do something in sports broadcasting. I wanted to be a news reporter, and so I went to college to study sports and news broadcasting. Went to Hastings College in Nebraska. I'm from Nebraska. And then while I was there, I was an anchor they did a weekly newscast, was an anchor. And then I started working for a local TV station, going out, shooting video, highlighting the news and sports. I would go to all the basketball games, football games, baseball, capture the highlights, come back, edit it together. And it was so much fun. After school, went to do news and sports for a local Fox TV station in Omaha, Nebraska. And we actually did a Thursday night showdown. And so that was the game of the week, as we call it for us. So that was kind of how I got my start in it, and then ended up here in Texas, met this guy, as he said, and we kind of started as a radio station and decided, hey, we're really good at shooting video. We love shooting video. The radio station is fun, but video is also really, really fun. So that's where Clear Life was born. And now, again, we go out and shoot tons of the different stuff. And I guess the one thing that is really cool about this industry is, like today, you guys are learning about this industry, and then you're gonna go and learn something else later on in your second session. We get to do that every single day that we are working. We get to go and learn about the different things that are going on in our communities. You know, just in terms of the high school stuff that we've done this fall, I didn't know about the maritime program at Texas City. I didn't know about the student council and what you guys do in Lamarck. And there are tons of different stuff that you guys do and have going on, and we get to learn about that, and that's truly a blessing. I think, was it 3 weeks ago, we were working with Texas New Mexico Power here in Texas City, and we were going to the substations and filming where all of the electricity that goes to your house comes from. And it was just really kind of cool to learn about the different stuff that's going on. And we've done a lot with A&A Machine and Fabrication, who is here in Lamarck and Texas City, and we've filmed there too. And there's so many cool things that happen in our community that we as a company get to learn about through the use of video. So that's really, really kind of cool for us. Anything else to add on that, Gardy?
No, I think like anything that, like, you know, like he mentioned, learning about all the different programs and stuff like that. But if you're interested in it, like we are, then you can just like learn about it or just go find out about it. Because most people, they want to share about their industry, especially if we don't know, then the common person doesn't know. Like we've been able to work with the city of Texas City about the pumps. The pumps. Do y'all know anything about the pumps that they have? No, yeah, see, y'all need to watch the video. But it's just, I don't know, it's just an interesting field that we get to work in. It's a lot of learning, and usually the questions that we ask, they're sincere, like, it's like, we don't know. This may be a stupid question, but, you know.
And you actually get to, we do a lot of combat sports as well. So we'll cover MMA, we'll cover grappling, we'll cover boxing. We've done some stuff on Fight TV, which is really kind of cool to be a part of like an international broadcast, not just what we're doing here, but you love combat. So for you get to do it and then also get to film it.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it's fun. We do a lot of stuff with food. That's really how we started. We did a lot of stuff with food because if you show up with the camera, you know, and you say, hey, can I film here? They will feed you anything that you want, pretty much.
Hey, we're live streaming. They're watching right now. Don't tell them this.
They know
secret.
that. They're the ones who fed us. We ate a lot, ate a lot of food. And we would do giveaways and some other things like that. But then after a while, people were like, hey, we'll pay you some money to do that. So,
what would be your advice, like for these guys as they're thinking about this career? What would be your advice to them?
I think the main thing is being flexible and communication. Whether you find someone like a Kurt or if Kurt finds someone like me, but like communicating with each other, finding someone that you can kind of grow with, bounce things off of, making sure you're communicating in the right way, and then if you do have a problem, not being so set on like this is the way it has to be done because this is the way they do it on the news. If you want to do sports, I have to do sports this way. ESPN does it this way. Why do they do it that way? There was probably a reason 30 years ago, 40 years ago, whenever they started. But whenever you find something, it's okay to be flexible. Why not make your life easier and still deliver an awesome product? So that's the one that I think, communication and not being scared to change. Just because it's always been done that way doesn't mean it's the best way now. There's so many other tools that we have with social media, our cell phones, just make your life easier.
Yeah, and I'm gonna kind of piggyback off of that. If you guys are wondering, how do I get started in this career? I took the generic, pathway. I went to school, took 4 years in college, learned all that I could. But for that career of being a sports reporter and a news reporter, you have to have a 4-year degree in order to get started in the industry. If you're thinking about wanting to be a camera operator, if you're thinking about doing graphics or digital design or something like that.
Or a YouTuber, an influencer. People are making millions of dollars. They're
Millions.
starting where they're at with what they have.
You could start today. You could start learning how to do some of this stuff. There are tons of resources online. You can go to YouTube and be like, how do I shoot video? What are the basics of learning video? You can go and watch those on YouTube. Find somebody who knows what they're doing, i.e. us. And then, well, some days we know what we're doing, some days.
Today.
Then you can actually go and learn from them. They can give you the tools. Like, for instance, this camera. If you were being a professional videographer in a sports field or in a news field or on YouTube, they're going to use something very similar to this. Well, there are businesses around here, including ours, that has that kind of equipment, and all you have to do is be able to go find that stuff and get learned and trained on it.
But that's not what we started with.
No,
yeah.
Your phones are just as good as those cameras now. I can tell the difference, but that's because I'm a trained eye and I can see the difference between a generic cell phone video versus something that's shot on a professional camera. But if you're learning, that is a wonderful tool to use. You can go and shoot. And then I would find things like every day. If this is something that's your passion, go and find things to film. Go and find people to film. Go and find stories that exist.
Mm-hmm. I agree, yeah.
So let's talk really fast. We wanted to show some of our videos so that you guys can get an idea of what is all available. Because for you guys, you probably see something on your phone and think, oh, this is what a video looks like. But I think there's more to this industry than even you guys have probably even thought about to this point. So I wanted to show some of our videos. And the cool part about this is online, they are actually going to see the video as well.
From the way that we welcome our guests, the way that we prepare the food. It's not just the taste of the food, it's the way the food looks too when it comes out. We want everything. Hi, I'm Adam Bateman, and we are at Grazia Italian Kitchen at Mainland City Center in Texas City.
See, we love shooting food. It looks good, huh? Yeah.
Chicken parmesan, lasagna, but then we've got some really great dishes, some seafood, some steak dishes as well.
If grandma's sitting at the table, we want to give her an amazing experience. You know, we're not going to open up canned green beans. We're going to go to the grocery store and get fresh green beans, and we're going to pick them and boil it and make sure that it's the absolute best.
Rising equals grace. We've all been given a measure of grace, and so we believe that needs to come through in everything that we do, from serving food to welcoming our guests.
Just incredible service and food, and making sure that we over-deliver on that whole dining experience. Super blessed to be in Texas City. The market is definitely emerging. When you look at different areas around Houston that have developed or past their prime, Texas City is one of those markets that to me is just on the up and up.
The city is hungry for more, for nicer things. It's one of the comments I hear every time. Man, we are so glad that we have somewhere nice to eat.
I think the more of us that really join together to serve this incredible community, the more we can continue to keep people in Texas City. The feeling is, to me, that a lot of people have to go north or south, but the more of us that continue to join and support this community, the better it's going to be for everybody.
So this was a video series that we did with the city of Texas City. And as you can see, there are multiple components inside of this video. There are interviews, there is video, obviously there's lots and lots of food, which people love when we showcase food, and then also the graphics. So when you're making a video such as this, there are different aspects of this that you need to know.
I'll say one thing real quick, like even setting the scene, because I think someone over here said, oh, that's there? Like that like, where am I at? Okay, this restaurant. And then you see, I know where that is. It sets the scene, and then it takes you in the restaurant. You see people having fun, smiling, and then there's the sound bites.
Yeah, so one of the things that that we haven't talked about, that as you were talking about setting the scene, was that you can also be a drone pilot. And those are fields that are continuing to grow. You see people all the time grabbing a drone and getting it up in the air and shooting videos. Real estates, people who like showcase houses, they constantly want pictures with drones, they want video with drones. We have a drone guy, Dezen, who actually uses an FPV and flies through the houses, you know, to showcase some of those cool little effects. He actually at Santa Fe flew through the tunnels, and that was part of the video that he did. So there's some really cool stuff that you can do. One of the things too is podcasts. So podcasts are a big deal right now, especially on, and I'm not going to play this whole video, but you can actually see that people use podcasting as videos now. So this is us, this is our Clear Life Combat. As we said, Gardy does a lot of combat stuff. I'm going to mute that. Sorry, Gardy. But you can see that the audio is happening, but also there's video components to that. So you will see that with all of the national podcasts are now utilizing video. They're cutting these videos that are long, hour-long podcasts or so.
To Reels.
To Reels. Yeah. TikTok, Instagram, and then what do? You go, oh, I want to see the full thing, and you go and watch the full thing. So these companies that are national companies are utilizing video and audio to get you guys to watch. And so they'll take this and cut it up. So this was one that we run on our Clear Life Combat channel. So Combat, it falls underneath, like Clear Life Media is the big one. And eventually our goal is to have Clear Life Sports, Clear Life Combat, Clear Life News, those kind of things that it's Clear Life's overarching, and then we break down our pieces so that if you are interested in combat, you can go and watch it. If you're interested in sports, you can go watch sports. If you're interested in news or commercials, then you can go watch some of that as well. Cool. All right, and then really fast, what time is the act, like what time are they done?
Man, I've been on Ariane for about 2-3 years.
10:45? Okay,
Treating
we got time.
since day one.
So this is a video that we put together. We actually went and filmed them at a fight competition. And as you can see, again, incorporating the drone shots. So I'm a certified drone pilot. So you can actually go and make money flying drones. And then you get to go to these cool events where there's a lot of fun that goes on. So our goal was to share the story about this fighter. And he is, it's BJJ, which is like grappling and stuff like that. And they're training, and then we're tying that training footage in.
I train 5 days a week. I run the shop, as you know. I sell shoes as well, so I'm usually at the shop 12 to 7. So I train either before or after. But yeah, it takes a lot. It's like a whole other job.
Don't make grip.
Okay. So the cool, sorry. Okay. So on that last video, the one with the fighter, you can actually see that we're interviewing some of the fighters as they're going through, and we're cutting up those interviews to help share a story. One of the things that we strive as a company is to kind of be, I was thinking this the other day, is we are a platform or a medium to share people's voices that have positive community-based stories. And so for us, our job is to sit down and do interviews with those people to find out who they are, what do they do, why are they doing this? And as you get to your activity today, you're gonna see how do you set up questions that can help share a story, because we're gonna actually have you guys interview each other, which is gonna be kind of fun. But that's, as you saw, those were some of the ways that we were able to utilize the interviews to tell a story. Hey, how did you get to this place where you were walking out onto the stage to go and fight? Well, I trained. You know, I was training. I was working my job, my business from 9 to 5, and then at 5 o'clock I go and I train until the lights go out, and then I'm doing it all again the next day, and I'm getting ready to fight professionally.
Sometimes you run into people that feel like they don't have a story, but there's always a story there. There's always issues, adversity, and stuff, and so sometimes you almost have to find that story and be like, this is it. This is the thing, you know, overcoming this obstacle, you know, to get to where you're at.
Right. And so like think about your guys' stories. You know, growing up, you had different parts of your life that you could possibly share on camera. I every day I could share a story. I joked all the time, hey, let's just find someone to follow us around for a day, and I'm sure you can find stories in just your everyday life that you don't even think about. And so how do you tell those stories? One of the coolest parts, I guess, about being our company and what we were able to do is sometimes people tune in on TV and they see your content. So we've had commercials that we have produced that have played during the World Series broadcast. It's really, really kind of cool. Thank you. I appreciate that. She's clapping. I'm not looking for compliments. I'm just trying to say, when you look at like ESPN, when you look at stuff, you can see that your stuff can get out there and make it on a national level, international level. Talk about going viral. It just takes one video. So this was one for a car dealership in Jersey Village, which is on the other side of Houston, and this one runs on TV. So you'll see it on Hulu, you'll see it on the actual TV stations and stuff. So this was one that we did for Superior Subaru. No.
Let's go say it.
There we go.
So like talking to the client, they wanted, these are my daughters. I want my daughters in the, that was like the only requirement. And they wanted a funny one. So
Not here. Here is shop online and tour our inventory. Making life easier, getting to what matters.
This holiday season, shop Subaru. For the Subaru, share the love event.
Superior Subaru, making your dream a reality.
So we shot like how many commercials
5?
in one day? We shot 5 commercials in one day, which shooting one commercial in one day is
a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
And it was a Saturday on top of it. So we were like on our day off, you know, most people's days off. We actually got to go out. We took this car, we put it out in, with all the horses. They had this big farmhouse. We did campfire. We did roasting marshmallows late at night.
Also, we had to get creative with that for the ideas because they had no cars. They had, I think they had
That
zero.
was 2020. They had 0 cars.
No cars were, for manufacturing. They weren't coming in. Everything was slowed down. They had, 3 cars, and so we couldn't show cars, a car lot. They wanted commercials, and so we had, okay, how can we get around this? This is an issue. What can we do?
Yeah, so we are able to have so much fun because how often do you get to see horses in Texas? Right.
Out of nowhere. Yeah. But the other thing is that we thought about who drives a Subaru. Like, I don't know. Like, yeah.
She said nobody.
She said, I don't
I
drive
hope
a
Superior
Subaru.
Subaru's not watching right now.
So we look at like who's their clientele, like what are they doing? It's an outdoorsy car, like sometimes like all terrain, like those different things. What are they doing? Probably going to bike trails. They're probably, going and riding their horses. They're going to their daughter's dance recital. Like who drives a Subaru? And then we're trying to make a commercial for them. It's most likely a family, maybe. I don't know. There's so many different people. But that's what we were brainstorming. They wanted us, hey, come up with ideas for commercials. Okay, we wrote them all down. Do y'all like any of these?
And see, on this point, I wanted to talk really fast, and then I want to get to the other stuff. But talking about, hey, how did you get to this place? I have a news and sports background. I don't have a make commercials background. I don't have, hey, let's do this kind of video. I have, hey, show up with the camera, tell a news report, stand in front of the camera like this, and talk to the camera. That's what I trained in. So learning how to do something like this is something that I'm constantly looking at YouTube. I'm constantly going and saying, hey, who are some of the main stuff? I'll even Google search car commercials and say, hey, show me some car commercials for some ideas.
And then he comes back to me, he's like, Gardy, I had a great idea. I had a great
It was
idea.
my
And I'm like,
original
bro,
idea.
I've seen that commercial before. And he's like, oh, yeah.
So go and look at, if you're interested in being a sports reporter, if you're interested in learning about how to shoot a car commercial, if you're interested in
podcasting,
anything like that, go and look at what other people are doing, and you don't have to steal their idea, because that's not what being a creative is about, but that's where you get your basis. So on Saturday, I'm filming a wedding, and on Friday night, after I'm done, we got a video shoot Friday night. After we're done on Friday night, I'm gonna go and actually watch wedding videos. and all I'm doing is I'm looking for shot ideas. Inspiration for tomorrow or for the next day when I go and shoot that wedding.
People do that with like Pinterest and stuff like that. Like even like, I know whenever I'm married and my
You
wife
like
was like, had a Pinterest and like, oh, I like this flower, I like this stuff. It's just you pin it. I don't have a Pinterest, I don't know, but it's just, like a collage of ideas. What do I like about these colors? Or it's pretty much that, just getting that inspiration. And then maybe you find yourself in that at the wedding. Oh man, this is perfect. Or, I have these ideas.
Right. And then the last thing that we do is obviously we live stream as we're doing right now. But this was the last Santa Fe game versus Willow Ridge. And we have somebody who's running all the graphics. We have people who are inputting data so that the stats actually show up for the players. We have announcers, we have camera operators. There's a lot of different roles that you can have as we're doing this. And this was actually a lot of fun for us. I wanted to show the touchdown.
We wanted to do Dickinson, but they won't get back to us. Dickinson, let us know. They don't like it? They don't like new people?
They don't like it.
Let us sneak in. Let us.
So that is an example of, and then we go to commercial breaks. Oh, she was just here. Yeah, the carnival. We actually filmed there. And then obviously Texas City, all the stories. Ron Carter was a major sponsor for us.
It became our mission.
Maybe.
Mission to give back to the community.
So Ron Carter was a really big sponsor. We go and actually get sponsors for all of these broadcasts as well. So there's sales that are involved. There's just tons of different opportunities. So is there anything else that you wanted to add?
Well, just like with the football stuff, like whenever or the broadcasting the sports stuff, it's more than just the sports. It's the stories at the school and the students, like we did with the Lamar Student Council, and we were able to go do some of, was that Texas City with Honor Society, and just those different stories, not just the sports. And a lot, like whenever we go to the sponsors, that's a big reason why they want to support, because like, they can go watch a football game, and there's a lot of different things where they just show the game, but it's more than that. We're spotlighting students of the week and just different things.
One of the things that they asked us to share were some challenges and what we've kind of ran into as a business, because not only are we out there shooting the video editing, but we're also managing the clients. We're running the business as well as an entrepreneur and trying to figure out how we can navigate, because tomorrow, we have to make some money so that we can have a place to live and grow. And along with that is difficulties and stuff and problem solving. So what are some of the keys that we talked about were some of the challenges?
Challenges we've had, we don't agree on everything. Kurt thinks it should be done his way, and I think his way doesn't work. No, but sometimes you have to come to just being flexible. I know I've said this a couple times, but you run into problems every day, and you kind of have to pick your battles. I think what's important, and then you just come to an agreement. If it's a disagreement between me and him on a way it should be done or whatever, but not even outside, there's always something. But you have to you run into a wall, maybe try it a couple times. It's like, okay, how can we fix this? How can we get around this? Because at the end of the day, me and him, we want the same result, right? Like,
we want to be successful.
There's so many different ways to do a Subaru video or stream a football game. There's literally millions of ways you could do it,
And being willing to move. And one of the things that we talked about was the biggest way to overcome challenges is communication. Mm-hmm. So if you are thinking about getting into this field, one of the things that I would highly recommend when you get a chance is take your communication classes seriously. Because there are ways that he and I communicate that I might communicate with y'all differently. And figuring out how to communicate those problems will solve most of the issues that you're running into.
Then another thing that we've had issues with is staffing. Trying to find like, hey, can we hire somebody? Do we contract somebody? Is this person, they have a whole life, to themselves, like to me and him, this is our life, and then to somebody else, they come in, but they have a whole life too. So just trying to find the right person. Can you commit to a football season on a Friday night, in the county? Can you commit to an event like that? Because sometimes we get someone in and then we find out they may flake out or something else is more important. It is what it is, so you kind of have to have a list, but staffing is very important.
And that we mentioned that too, because for y'all, if this is something that you want to learn, there are internship opportunities. You can come up, our station is at 601 Delaney Road. And so you can actually come up and actually learn from us and grow with us as well. So that way you guys can get, hands-on experience doing some of the cool stuff that we have. So there's plenty of opportunities. We have a broadcast coming up on the 19th. We have a broadcast coming up in December. We're doing high school basketball, hopefully baseball, soccer we want to do as well. So those are all opportunities for you guys to come learn how to use a camera, learn how to edit, learn graphics, whatever you guys are interested in. We'd take the help. And then I guess just being disciplined. It's easy to stay at home and play video games or to do whatever where you're not learning, but stay disciplined and be like, you know what, today I'm going to get up at 8 o'clock and I'm going to go, and I'm going to work on my business and I'm going to work on growing. For us, I'll work until 2 a.m. most nights because I really care about this company. I really care about the products that we're putting out. These don't just happen overnight. You have to be dedicated and disciplined to be like, you know what, this is what I want to do. And I love it. For me, staying and sitting on my computer and editing or going and shooting videos at A&A, like it's a passion and I love it. And my college, their motto was pursue your passion. And I love that because if you can pursue your passion, you're gonna love it. You're gonna enjoy it, and it's not gonna feel like work.
Should have showed one of the first videos that you'd ever done.
Let's not talk about that.
It's so bad.
Which one?
Yeah, there's a lot.
All of them.
But you can just see it it takes years, but like right now, you could speed that up with YouTube, finding a mentor, asking questions. There's a lot of, of competition, I guess, but you can, instead of like being competitive with somebody, I feel like you can learn from each other, and we try to, we'll work with other companies because it's like, hey, how are you doing this? Or they see something we're doing, we'll share some things.
Yeah.
But just being, what challenges do you have? How'd you get around that? And you can learn so much, speeding up your progress.
And I'm always willing to share with people, and try to get information out about how, like people will say, hey, I want to learn how to do this, and we'll give them information or try to help them out as much as we can. But this is one, most of you guys have Instagram, right? So we just got this product last week, and we're slowly learning how to utilize it. I made a mistake. We were actually going to be streaming today on Instagram, but I didn't bring the proper cable, so we didn't get a chance to do it today. Because if we're going into the TV, we needed another piece of equipment. Yeah. But this allows us to stream all of our broadcasts, including football, basketball, baseball, soccer, on Instagram Live as well. So not just
usually you have to
Facebook.
use a cell phone. You have to use a cell phone. That's just like built into the, into the code or whatever of Instagram.
And the name of the product is, and then end the stream. No,
yeah, but that's like a workaround because it's technically an Android phone. So they built it like a phone, but then it can take a signal, so you can take that football broadcast and put it on Instagram Live, so it'll pop up at the top, which is a game changer for us and sponsors.
I'm super excited.
It's a whole different audience because like y'all may all have Instagram, but then there's people's like, we don't have Facebook.
Can you imagine going and watching and being like, look, I'm on Instagram and sharing your baseball game or your soccer game or stories about the student council. I just realized she's not here, but I was just like, oh, the student council girl. Is there any questions so far? Because we're going to transition to our fun activity that we have for you guys.
Do you do the broadcasting for the football games?
He does, and then we also have Todd and Clay. So I do mainly the directing. So I'm the one who's sitting at the board, switching to the different cameras, pulling up the graphics, running our stream deck. So this allows us, all of the graphics that you saw with the scores and stuff, they're all controlled by this. And so I'm sitting on a big board that has multiple cameras, and then I'm running this and putting up the graphics.
Like, talking to each other, telling like, okay, switch to the student section, switch back to the field.
Yep, yeah, and all of our camera operators have headphones that are connected into me, so I can say, hey, go get this shot, hey, go get this. And then it's really cool. I wish I would have brought it, but it's a switch. It's a red button, I guess is what you call it. and I push the red button and I talk into a microphone and I can talk to the announcers that are up in the press box.
Yeah, because the announcers, they have headset mics, but then underneath it, we'll put an extra ear in, pretty much a headphone. So that way, if he wants to say something, he can be like, hey, we're going to take a commercial break, throw it to a commercial. And so it's like, hey, thanks, stay tuned. You're watching the game of the week. And then he throws to a commercial. Hey, you're back in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so just communication again.
It's a really long microphone cable that runs all the way up to our press box. We spend probably 4 or 5 hours running cables the day before a football game. I'm thinking basketball is not going to be as long, but we have to run cabling and do it a special way so that way we can get the video and stuff. Yes, sir.
Don't we like under the stand setting up the cameras from like the Atlanta stuff?
Yep. We have a big old, the coolest part, and I don't think our audience knows this if they're tuning in and watching, but we actually have a trailer that we are working on decking out with all of the stuff so we can just drive up to an event like today if we wanted to and have an entire trailer that you can walk in and actually.
It'll save us so much time. That's the other thing. It just costs money, but the money's out there. Like, you just have to ask, like, hey, you want to sponsor that? Hey, you got money?
No.
What's up?
I wish. Do y'all think y'all would transfer into like a production company, like with films and stuff?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we've talked about it, and we've had people approach us asking about, hey, here's my movie script idea. We just haven't done it.
Yeah, it's a lot of work to do a movie. If you were talking about like, hey, let's go and get actors and act. I think Lamarck, weren't they a part of a big production? You were a part of that? That's cool. And it's a lot of work. Like, you're talking about days upon days upon days. And you have to have money behind that too. And so it's hard to find, if you have an avenue for that. So for us, we feel like doing commercials and stuff like that is where we want our company to go, because that's where, one, our paychecks can come from, and two, because it's what we're good at. So we just haven't found somebody a part of our team. But we go back to that Clear Life Sports, Clear Life News, Clear Life Movie, Clear Life TV. Those are all different things that, as you branch out your company, that you can kind of build upon.
Yeah, because like even scripting 30 seconds sometimes, it's a lot. 30 second commercial has to be 30 seconds for TV or whatever.
I didn't realize you have to literally get like shot by shot, take by take.
Yeah.
We didn't know. It's so meticulous. Like,
Build it out every second. You got 30. I got a minute. It's a minute commercial. This is what I need to show. Set.
Over wide shot. Up close shot.
Yeah. So it's a lot, and you storyboard all of that too. So you have an artist draw out every shot, and they draw out, at the professional level. And I used to teach video. I used to teach broadcasting in Vermont before I was here, and one of the classes was you had to teach storyboarding, and I hate it because I can't draw. And I was teaching these kids, and I'm like, look at my stick figures, because it's really hard. But they do that, so then when you go out and film, and this is back in the day, they used to have you guys ever seen those old like projector reels? That's what they used to film on. Those cameras would be that. And then if you messed up the shot and had to do that, those are gone. And 35 millimeter film is like super expensive. You're talking like $20,000 for regular like 30 millimeter film for just a roll. And so if you go and mess up and have to do another take, you can't redo it over that film. And so it became super expensive. So you storyboard it, make sure everything is set, then you hit the record button. So that way you don't mess it up. So that's why. Any other questions? No. Okay, so we're going to switch to our activity. I'm going to say goodbye to our online audience. Thank you guys for being a part of it.